Welcome to our lesson on the elements of art. We will be covering the elements and principles of visual art, vocabulary within visual art, historical context, common themes within works of art, aesthetic response, and artistic choices, why artists make the choices they do. You guys read Chapter 2, Lesson 1 yesterday. Who can tell me the 7 elements of art from the reading? Okay, we had line, shape, form, space, texture, value, and color. Very good. Now I would like you guys to click on the link and watch a short movie clip. It's only about 2 minutes. Once it's done, put up your smiley face, and we will continue after that. Okay, so what did you guys think of that video? Kind of covered again the 7 elements of art. We're going to keep repeating over and over and over. I'm not going to let you guys forget what they are. So as we go through today's lesson, think about the following questions. What is art? Again, what are the different elements of art? And why is it important to know the language of art? And we'll talk more about what that means. The elements of art are sort of like atoms in that both serve as building blocks. You know that atoms combine and form other things, right? Well, sometimes they'll casually make a simple molecule, as when hydrogen and oxygen form water. If hydrogen and oxygen take a more aggressive career path and bring carbon along as a coworker, then together they might form something more complex, like a molecule of sucrose. A similar activity happens when the elements of art are combined, but instead of hydrogen and oxygen and carbon, etc., in art you've got line, shape, form, space, texture, value, and color. Again, the 7 elements. Artists manipulate these elements, mix them in with the principles of design, and compose a piece of art. Not every work has every last one of these elements contained within it, but there are always at least 2 present. For example, a sculptor, by default, has to have both form and space in a sculpture because these elements are 3-dimensional. They can also be made to appear in 2-dimensional works through the use of perspective and shading, like in M.C. Escher's drawing titled Drawing Hands, and many of his other drawings. The relationship of positive to negative space can greatly affect the impact of a work of art. In this drawing, the man and his shadow occupy the positive space, while the white space surrounding him is the negative space. The disproportionate amount of negative space accentuates the figure's vulnerability and isolation. Art would be nothing without line, sometimes known as a moving point. In this painting by Nicolas Poussin, horizontal lines suggest a feeling of rest or repose, because objects parallel to the earth are at rest. In this landscape, horizontal lines also help give a sense of space. The lines delineate sections of the landscape, which recede into space. They also imply continuation of the landscape beyond the picture plane to the left and right. Vertical lines often communicate a sense of height because they are perpendicular to the earth, extending upwards towards the sky. And diagonal lines convey a feeling of movement. Objects in a diagonal position are unstable because they are neither vertical nor horizontal. They are either about to fall or are already in motion. The angles of the ship and the rocks on the shore convey a feeling of movement or speed in this stormy harbor scene. In a 2-dimensional composition, diagonal lines can also indicate depth through perspective. These diagonal lines pull the viewer visually into the image. For example, in this photograph, the diagonal lines lead the eye into the space to the point where the lines converge. When repeated, lines can create a pattern. In this example, Van Gogh repeated different kinds of lines across the composition to create various patterns. Pattern lines also give the image rhythm. While a line isn't something found in nature, it is absolutely essential as a concept to depicting objects and symbols and defining shapes.